now live. Oh, good morning. I'm going to start with a couple quick stretches. Oh, I felt so good. They might not be so quick. They might not be so quick, but they're going to feel really good. Oh. Oh. Talk about it a lot. Just about every single morning. There's some apprehension before I push live on the button. And I literally say, I don't literally say, I mean, I just said, but I literally say, let's just do it. Or let's go. But today was, let's just do it. And, because I realized once I push live, it's kind of like the feeling of when you jump in the swimming pool. You know, you're sitting there, walking along the edge. Your friends are all already in the pool, and they're saying, hey, it's not that bad once you get used to it. You're still terrified. And sometimes you build up the courage. To dive right in. I always like to dive in. I don't know, something very committal about diving, going to the deep end and diving in. Well, because then you couldn't wimp out and kind of jump in and land on your feet and try and keep your head or your arms dry. You are all in the deep end. It's much the same when you're going live. Get it in some comments. I'm sorry, if I don't read anybody saying good morning to me while I'm doing my yoga, it's because I'm far away and the words are small and I'm 55. What do I do now? I just do a couple of these. This isn't much yoga, but it still feels really good. Opens up the side and the arm. Pull on it with your opposing hand. Gives you a bigger stretch. These are my favorite. These are the best part. I don't know if they're the best part, but I think they might be the best part. They look the coolest. When I'm in the gym and I'm rocking some official, I gotta remember what this is called. There's gotta be somebody out there that's been in a yoga class before that knows what this is called, because it's a super common position. I was calling it side plank for a while. Love this one. Trikonasana. Yoga's kind of fun. I think I could have liked to be a yoga teacher. Kind of just get to talk. Go through the positions. I'm sure there's more to it. Maybe that'll be my calling. Maybe if this whole coffee drinking thing doesn't work out. I don't know if you guys could hear my hip pop, but I'll tell you, it felt really good. Go to the floor real quickly. We only have 3 people watching. I guess that answers my question. I was wondering if anyone wanted me to start with yoga, or if I should start with yoga. Because again, this is a coffee show, and it's a show about me talking and sharing some experiences, but I'll get to all that. And a little bit ago, I started adding some stretching to it. And it's always been an important part of my day. But once I push live, it takes a little time for people to hop on. I only have one person on right now, so it's just me and one person. But that's okay. I'm thankful for the one person that's here. And thankful for the morning, and thankful for my body that feels so good when I stretch it. Thankful for this carpet that I'm sitting on in my buddy's basement. I'm going to try a couple of these. Thankful for the tightness in my hip, which feels so good. It's kind of like the pigeon pose, but it's A little different. Kind of works the same thing. It opens up the hips. Oh my God. I can't even get this leg close to my chest. Maybe that's okay. This is my bad leg with my bad knee. Maybe God doesn't want me pulling it in too tight. So he made my right hip super sore. God's smart that way. I'm going to go away just for a moment, but I'll just be laying over here, seeing if I can get my back to crack. Oh. No. About trying this side. Oh, there it goes. Oh. Oh. I like to exaggerate the noises. Quick downward dog, and then I'll get back to the show. Maybe. I haven't even started the show. It's funny, I post these videos on YouTube. My audience would probably stick to the videos longer. If I cut this stuff out. Oh, it feels so good, let me tell you. Oh. Oh, it feels so good. I should do this more often. Oh, it felt so good. Oh. Thank you, Lord. Oh. Wow. Only one person there, but thank you, one person, for watching. And again, I post these videos on YouTube, and I don't know, get a fair audience, a fair amount of people watching, and it grows all the time. Imagine what people watch on their phones if they got nothing to do. Watch me. They probably don't like watching me stretch too much. And I don't know if that's a permanent thing, but it sure feels good, and it's really a great way to start my day. And I don't know. And I talk about it a lot. If you're a painter, a musician, or a content creator, I think you need to do it for yourself first. And you have to do what you want to do. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are trying to be content creators or get rich and famous. And I don't know. Google what are popular videos to watch, and they create videos based on that Google search. But A, they don't know anything about that particular topic. And B, they don't have a passion for it that'll keep them in the game long enough. And maybe if they put in some effort and time and some money, they might create a good video that a lot of people see. But, one viral video doesn't add up to a lifetime or a career or what have you. So... Andrew's saying, let me join. Tim McDougall's wants to join. I don't think I'm ever going to let anybody join. My live shows are my live shows. And I always get requests for people hopping on and whatever social media platform. I don't even know what would happen. But I don't want to split the screen and have somebody that I don't know being able to impact my audience in any unforeseen way. Maybe someday I'll start doing interviews, but I'll have it set up and cool. But I'm not going to let some random person who's on Instagram at 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday hop on and just start saying all sorts of things. Doesn't seem prudent. But good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Sunday morning. It is May 12th, and it is 5:37 a.m. Happy Sunday. It's a show that I've been doing for quite some time. It's a show about me talking, and it's a show about me sharing some feelings, kind of sharing the ups and downs and the thoughts of one dude that's 55 years old that has an active mind and started the show about 5 years ago to deal with that active mind and to put those thoughts somewhere. And I realized last night, I also think I started this show because I was dealing with heartbreak. And it's probably the fuel that's fed this show over the last 5 years, heartbreak. And it was the pain of a guy talking who'd met who he thought was the woman of his dreams. And, wait, somebody said it's Saturday. Confused me. Who he thought was the woman of his dreams, but realized, like a lot of things in life, that life's not a fairy tale or a fantasy, or you know, even the woman of your dreams is a real woman and has her own issues and own challenges. And just because she's beautiful and talented and uh, meets a couple of your key criteria doesn't mean you're a match made in heaven. And my telling of it, I think, is the guy that's still dealing with the heartbreak or the disappointment in that relationship. And it's probably going to be there for a little while as I work on through it and deal with my stuff. So on the positive side, it'll give me a lot to talk about on Coffee with Ken going forward. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, you know this isn't just a show about me talking. It is also a show, which my coffee was covered up. Staying at a buddy's house for the next week till I head off on my journey. He's got the Boy's Body Book. Everything you need to know for growing up at you. It's #1 best-selling, it says. For anyone with a young man out there, a young boy, growing up, going through what all of us young men go through growing up. I mean, I don't know if I want to recommend it. I've never read it, but I've used it as a coffee warmer or keep cover. But anyway, as I was saying, it's a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me. And I am so excited to take my first sip at this silly early hour on this Sunday morning. My hope is wherever you are, whatever you're doing, that you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. It's the French vanilla. Something about the French vanilla, it almost is smoother, if you will. And I'm not saying smooth is always a good thing, but I don't know, it almost seems to coat your mouth and your throat as it goes down with a, like, almost buttery texture. And somebody asked, was I able to see the aurora light? I wish I would have, because that is on my bucket list of things to do. And apparently the Northern Lights came down across a big swath of the United States over the last few days. And I saw a few things about it on social media. And apparently it was Friday night and Saturday night, and it might even go tonight. I don't know. I think they're neat. I hear they're beautiful. And last night, as I was laying in bed at about 7:30 or 8 o'clock after a long and tiring day, I was realizing, hey, dummy, you got to stay up past dark to see the Northern Lights. If you're going to accomplish that thing on your bucket list, you're going to have to change your bedtime and stay up a little later. But I didn't, and I laid in bed and realized... I don't know what I realized, but I decided I wasn't even going to make an effort at seeing the Northern Lights last night. Good morning, RJ. And so I laid in bed and got some things done and started relaxing. And again, it had been a long day, and my days start early. I usually wake up just before 5 o'clock. And fan just kicked on in the other room. I don't like white noise. You know, I don't like the sounds of fans. It was beautiful seeing the lights pulse and wiggle. Made me feel significantly more real. What a nice explanation. Hello, Hessel Jansen. Good morning to you. Hassel Jansen, are you from Norway or Sweden? Are you in Norway or Sweden? If you are in Norway or Sweden, I bet you see the Northern Lights quite often. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how often people see the Northern Lights. I think they're connected to uh, solar flares. And I don't know how we figured everything out. I don't know how we figured everything out, but it's amazing if we're right about everything. Because how could we figure out uh, that, oh, those are solar flares. Those are, I don't know, somehow energy from the sun captured by the magnetic rays around the poles of our uh, 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 of the Earth. I just don't know how they could know all that. How could they know? How could they know? I mean, there's so much weird stuff. You know, I was thinking about the other day, it was a thunderstorm, and there was some lightning and thunder going off, and I was thinking about ancient civilizations. No wonder they were God-fearing people. They would think the universe or the world or God or is angry with them, is very angry with them. The lights were overwhelming yet beautiful. You're right, RJ. RJ says they don't know, they just guess, and that's true. That's true. Scientists don't know, and it's evolving, but they do put their best guess out there. Like the chaos and beauty in our view. Wow. The Kiwi, who's commenting, is very poetic with his descriptions of the Northern Lights, and it's nice to have some good engagement. So thank you for joining. And thank you all for joining. And again, it's Sunday morning. I don't know how much I have to say today, but I'm going to swig down some coffee and get my morning started the way I know how. Again, it's the way I've been. I go live most mornings, and I don't know, it gives me a chance to get started. And I get up before most people, and I enjoy kind of a quiet house for sure. But I also enjoy a little. It's funny because I kind of almost consider this private time. I wouldn't, if my buddy was down here, I'd feel a little awkward talking to my phone and engaging with the 6 people I have on today. You're welcome. And, but I don't know. I think it's kind of important time for me and reflective time. I forgot. Was shaking the cobwebs out of my head. Let me just say a very hearty, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Yeah, it's such a neat day. I know I love Father's Day. So I would bet the moms love Mother's Day. And I've got... my mother passed 4 years ago. She after a fight with Alzheimer's, and it's weird because I still am coming to terms with that. And I mean, I guess we're always coming to terms with our own mortality and life and death and what have you. But I'm coming to terms with my relationship with my mom, which was really complicated. And we had a lot of conflict, but there was a lot of love and a lot of passion between us. And she was always very emotional, and I was always very emotional, and because of that, our emotions sometimes crossed wires, and she'd worry about me in a way that made me uncomfortable, and I don't know, made me feel like I couldn't be who I was or who I am because I felt I had to hide things from Mom. I couldn't tell her how I was feeling in a way that I felt comfortable because I knew she'd worry if I was honest. And I think that was hard for us. We loved each other very much, and I missed my mom. And it was hard seeing her go through Alzheimer's and lose her cognitive function and eventually have her body go out as well. But yeah, I miss my mom, and I love my mom, and I think about her every day. RJ wants to know if I was the youngest. No, I have had two older brothers, and I have a younger sister, and so I was the third boy. My brothers were 5 and 4 years older, and my sister was 3 years younger. So they spread us out outside of my first two brothers pretty well. And yeah, grew up in Downers Grove and had a fairly good childhood, but a crazy childhood like a lot of us had, I'm sure. And was born in '68 and grew up in the '70s and '80s, and I don't know, made me who I am today. So despite any bumps I've taken along the road or familial bumps I had growing up, it'd be hard to want to change them or go back or make anything different at all, because it's part of who I am. So here's to who I am. Obviously, a shout out to all the moms, but I want to give a special shout out to the two special moms that are still regular part of my life. My two ex-wives, the two moms of my four beautiful kids, Nicole and Anne Marie. Happy Mother's Day. And you guys are doing a great job and raising my kids to be, well, Anne Marie's raising my two little ones to be slightly bigger ones because they're really little. But Nicole's doing a great job with my two older ones, and who are becoming beautiful young ladies. And Aaron just turned 18, and Morgie just turned 15, and Aaron's high school career is quickly coming to an end. Her graduation is on Saturday. When I graduated high school, we did it at our high school. Somebody wants to know, was it big in the 70s and 80s, Mother's Day? I assume it was fairly big. I think things have gotten maybe more celebrated than they were back then. And I think everything's gotten bigger and in some ways more obnoxious than it was in the 70s and 80s. I can do a shout out to my mom or the mothers of my children, and that could potentially get heard thousands and thousands, if not millions of times. But back then, technology was different, and our celebrations were probably a little quieter and a little more family and a little more at home and a little more what have you. So things have changed, but I mean, we had Mother's Day back then. I don't know when they started Mother's Day. I'm sure there was the first year of Mother's Day. Why do all high schools go to NIU for graduation? I was just going to talk about that. I'm not sure. My daughter's graduation is going to be at Northern Illinois University, which is about 35 miles west of here. I assume they do it for seating capacity, because Northern must have a bigger stadium or gymnasium or whatever. I don't know where it's going to be held. And like I was talking about Mother's Day, everything's bigger right now. Erin gets to invite 15 of her family members to go. And I mean, 15? 15? To go to the ceremony? I don't know. My parents went and my siblings went, but it's not something I would have been inviting aunts and uncles and cousins to. And, but they do it now. And honestly, I just invited my little sister. It's funny, I call her little sister. She's 52. But my little sister's going to be going. I don't know if she wants to. And my dad, I think, is going to be going. I don't know if they want to. Hope they don't just feel obligated. But it's almost, she lives out in Roscoe, Illinois, which is about, 80 miles from where I live. So it's almost about halfway between the two towns. So it's a little easier for her. And I don't know. I'm sure she'll be excited to see my daughter graduate high school, I guess. Hope it's not a long, particularly boring ceremony. Wonder if we can fast forward it. I should live stream it and tell all my family to stay home. Just kind of go. That's me pushing the remote control and fast forwarding to the T's. because my last name is Tracy, and my daughter's last name is Tracy, and T is near the end of the alphabet. So we have to wait. We, with our names at the end of the alphabet, had to learn patience at a very early age. Why'd they always have to start with the A's? These are the questions I need answered. How was yesterday's run? I don't know what you mean when you ask that, Kiwi. Kiwi's asking how yesterday's run was. I didn't go on a run. I rode my scooter, if that counts, and that was nice. Yesterday was a good day. I feel kind of in limbo, to be honest with you. I am going on a big trip in 6 days. And I'm kind of taking care of some last minute things and doing some last minute shopping for my trip and trying to gather what I need. Okay, somebody asked about the race. The meet was great. I talked about it at length yesterday, but the meet ended up great, and we had a great time. I appreciate you asking, but I talked about it at length yesterday. My daughter had a track meet on Thursday night. It was scheduled, but it got rained out and colded out, and because it was a sectional meet, which is the state qualifying meet, they postponed it the next day to Friday, and the meet went really well, and she did great, and her team did great, and it was a beautiful night and a great way for me to end my daughter's track season. And I was standing next to a woman who I'd gotten to know. To be honest, I can't remember her name. We see each other at every meet. We both cheer and scream and talk at length every meet. But I met her at the beginning of the season. And it's one of those awkward things where you know her way too well to ask, hey, what's your name? I've been standing by you for 3 hours tonight, cheering for your daughter. I know every girl's name on the track team, but I don't know your name. Hope she doesn't watch my show. Or maybe if she did, it'd be a good way for her to understand the awkward feeling I'm experiencing now. But anyway, the meet went well. So, I'm going out, headed on a journey next Saturday. And yesterday was spent kind of tying up loose ends. I'm going to be riding my scooter. And I'm going to be going cross country. And super excited about it, super scared about it because it's I'm going to feel somewhat overpowered, and I'm not going to have 4 wheels, and I'm not going to have a roof over my head for an extended period of time. And it is going to be a longer trip than I've ever gone on. I don't think I've ridden my scooter more than 60 or 70 miles in a day. And I'm going to be going north of 1,000. And it's a big trip, and you don't have a trunk to pack extra stuff. So you got to figure out what you're going to bring. And kind of nervous about that. And I don't know, scared about the endurance that it will be. And how it's going to feel to be sitting on a bike, 6, 8, 10 hours a day if I can handle it. I think my butt's going to get sore. Kiwi wants to know if I'm going to document it. I believe I will. I feel somewhat ashamed of the obvious, easy content that it will be. I think my content is more challenging than most. I don't offer much. There's like hypnotist. It'd be easy to be a hypnotist content creator. I'd hypnotize you. It's funny. I listen to one girl. She must get so many views. I listen to her because she helps me sleep. And on a lot of the social media, it goes on a loop and it'll keep replaying her video. And I'll wake up an hour and a half later and she's still saying the same thing. So she must get so much viewing time from people dozing off. That's my problem with my content. It's so edge of the seat, keep you on the edge of your seat, entertaining. Nobody drifts off while listening to my show. But anyway, I think part of the challenge of my show is, look at me, I'm sitting in a basement right now. And, I don't know, makes me talk. And I think when I go on my journey, my content's going to be easier and probably more spectacular. And I'll probably uh, get a bigger audience, which is okay. But I want it to be known. I want it to be known that the growth in my show, when I'm a huge, successful, famous content creator, I want it to be known that my content started exploding before I ever even thought of going on this journey. Thank you, RJ. And that I went from 1,200 followers to 31,000, so, and counting, before I ever started really even talking about this content or this cross country journey to lands unknown. Yeah, I mean it a little bit. But thank you. Thank you all for watching. So I'm excited about that. And again, I woke up during the night and I realized, I think part of what's calling me out there, yes, it's going to be a journey of a lifetime and kind of crazy little adventure cross country on a two-wheeled overpowered vehicle. And yes, it's going to be, I think, good for me monetarily because I think I'm going to make fairly okay money while in a place that provides room and board, if you will. There's a clue. And that's important to me as a guy that pays two ex-wives child support and needs to keep a roof over his head as while he's doing it. And but I think the third and an important reason, and I think a reason a lot of my friends are encouraging me or wanting me to go, is they realize it'll probably be good for me to get away again after going through a second painful divorce in 10 years. I've been struggling with things and dealing with stuff and still dealing with heartbreak, to be honest with you. And dealing with the fact that I wish things were different and I wish people were different and I wish relationships were different and I wish things were different. And having to face the fact every day that, and I'm not bummed or sad or down or depressed. I think I feel great and I'm happy with life. But I'm still, there's an area in my life that I wish would have went differently. And no matter how hard we wish and how hard we try sometimes, people are going to be who they are, and you can't fix, change, save anybody. And that's not my job, and it's rude to try. And I think that was a big part of the allure of the relationship. And when I realized that wasn't my place, I think I felt a little out of place. And I'm still going through it and still working through it. And I think getting away and clearing my mind is going to be good. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. I got 4 beautiful kids, but 2 beautiful little ones that I love so much. And that are Augie and Eve are 3 and 1.5. And I know they're in good hands with their mom, and I know she's going to be able to FaceTime, and I know Augie's going to blow me his little kisses through the phone. But there's something about, I don't know, cuddling or tickling or wrestling with or teasing or poking or making laugh and smile or cuddling and watching a show or changing a diaper that you can't do over FaceTime. And it's going to be hard for me to leave. And I'm going to be really sad and probably shed a lot of tears under my sunglasses and under my visor. And yeah. So yeah. I'm worried my babies need me. I know they need me. And this wasn't a decision I made lightly. I think God sends us messages. And the other few weeks back, I got a message loud and clear that I had to make a change, and got up real early that morning and went to Starbucks and said, I got to accomplish this, this, and this. And I reached out to a friend and he sent me a link and I applied and I interviewed and got offered a job, and guy didn't tell me it was going to be out of state. I was going to miss my babies a lot. Sounds like I never go on vacation. I haven't had I kind of look at life as a vacation. I kind of look at life, not a vacation. I kind of look at it as life. And now that I'm telling the story that is Coffee with Ken, I don't know. I look at life as an adventure or a game. And whether I'm traveling or at home, or it's all putting together pieces of a puzzle and quest for something. And I tell you what, I enjoy life as much as anybody. I really do. And yeah, I haven't traveled. I used to travel a fair amount. Used to have more money, excuse me. But on yesterday's show, I actually paused and said, note to self, put a longer tissue in my PJs. Clearly, I forgot to reread that note because I'm still using the same 2-inch by 1-inch shred of tissue. Little did I know I was going to cry on this live show, or I certainly would have gotten more tissue, or at least a tissue box. But yeah, I think I enjoy life as much as anybody. From non-tier 1 school trying to break into investment banking. I get a lot of people that ask me about investment banking. And it's funny, I tried to write this. I was a stockbroker and I worked for some major brokerages in the 90s after graduating from college. Somebody just asked, they studied economics or finance from a non-tier 1 school trying to break into investment banking. I'll tell you what, where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And it doesn't, yeah, it'd look nice on a resume to go to Harvard and have an MBA from, I don't know, some Yale or something like that. It'd probably open a ton of doors. But if you're determined enough and willing to kick in the door and put in the work and chase your dreams, you can accomplish anything with or without a degree, no matter where you went to school. And I used to smoke pot a lot. I would sit and have a buddy over who would lament about how his physical limitations stopped him from accomplishing all these things. And I'll tell you what, the guy was good looking and over 6 feet tall and in pretty good shape and had long flowing hair. And yes, I don't know, he said he had all these stuff going on in his head and he would get dizzy and, I don't know, tell me, like to tell me his limitations. But I was thinking of the one guy in the wheelchair that had, I don't know, did he have multiple sclerosis but he became one of the most world's famous scientists. And people overcome challenges, and we all have them. So if your biggest hurdle you got to clear is that you didn't go to a non-tier 1 school, I don't even know what a tier 1 school means. I assume it's Harvard or Yale or some Ivy League school. But you can accomplish your dreams no matter what school you went to or if you didn't even go to school. There's probably more mega successful people that didn't go to a tier 1 school, that are entrepreneurs, that are know the value of struggle and know the importance of, I don't know, clearing hurdles and getting knocked down and pulling yourself back up. And if I was hiring somebody, I'd rather probably hire somebody with a little grit that was new struggle and new pain and new challenge, rather than some kid that was spoon fed. And I don't know. Nothing wrong with somebody that went to an Ivy League school. I got a buddy whose son ran at Yale and did awesome. And I'll tell you what, A, getting into Yale would be amazingly challenging, and B, running at the collegiate level is awesome. And I think he's got so much to be proud of him for. So I'm not trying to belittle somebody. I know they got to work hard to get into school. But I'm just saying you can accomplish your dreams and get into investment banking one way or the other uh, if you really want to. But I did these videos as a cautionary tale and trying to tell people that money doesn't buy happiness, and that working for these big investment bank companies weren't what I dreamed they would be. What was my favorite and least favorite part of working as a stockbroker? Uh, my favorite part, and this is going to sound vain, was either the money I made or the vanity I felt when I wore a new suit to work that day, or a new fresh shirt, or a new tie. Probably the beautiful women I worked with, or the money I made, or the fancy cars I had, or the clothes I had, or the nice apartment I had. But I'll tell you what, to a young person, those all might sound great. Fancy cars, beautiful women, nice homes. And I mean, there were nice aspects about them. But I think they kind of set me off on my path that is me. I'm discovering myself as I really am. And it wasn't a guy that wanted to hard pressure people over the phone and close people and sell people and convince people and twist arms to invest in money with me. And it was a sales position. It wasn't investment banking. It was sitting in front of a stack of cards every day and dialing through them and saying, Mr. Jones, my name's Ken Tracy. I'm with Lehman Brothers here in Chicago. I assume you know who Lehman Brothers is. We're one of the oldest investment banking companies, one of the founding fathers of Wall Street, and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know. Tell them we had a hot stock tip that's going from 12 to 18. Sometimes it did. Usually we'd sell it at 15 to buy the next hot stock tip and generate grotesque amounts of commissions. And eventually the stock could go from 12 to 8. And the client would lose all its money, and I'd be stressed, and I'd have to rebuild my book and tell people how disappointed I was and feel crappy about it. And I dealt with those crappy feelings by, I don't know, gambling and going to bars and drinking too much and waking up hungover and crawling in and my fancy suit feeling like dog poop warmed over, and doing it again the next day. And I tell you what, there's better lives to be lived out there than that existence. And I'd encourage all of you, despite whatever I say and despite whatever advice I give or experiences I share, do you. Do you. If your dream's to get into that business, do it. Chase your dreams. But I had somebody reach out yesterday and say they were a 22-year-old that was starting a business with her brother, and if I had any advice for him. And I'll tell you what, talking to that guy got me excited, because I think if you're ambitious and entrepreneurial and willing to get your knees scraped and your take some bumps and bruises, and you got an entrepreneurial spirit, that gets me excited. And that gets me thinking about my own dreams and chasing my own dreams, whether they be content creation or traveling across the country on a scooter or having two beautiful babies in my 50s, or whatever they may be, dreams yet unknown. And again, this guy's entrepreneurial spirit as a 22-year-old starting a business, wishing I would have devoted my energies towards truly discovering my dreams and chasing my dreams and going after it when I was 22, instead of, not that it was easy, it was a hard job, but it was an easy buck. It was an easy path laid out in front of me that was well traveled by salesmen in nice suits. Watch Wall Street, watch Boiler Room, watch Wolf of Wall Street. The path was clear in front of me, and all I had to do was follow it and work hard. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't hard work, but none of those movies end well. None of those movies end well for the stars. And again, they didn't end well for me. And they didn't end well for my brother, Steve, at all. And I talk about him from time to time. My other brother and my sister are working for Edward Jones. So when people reach out to me asking me about investment banking, I'll often tell them to go to Edward Jones and get a job there, because they do financial planning the old-fashioned way. They knock on doors and they meet people and set appointments and do it slow and steady and gather assets and, aren't chasing the quick buck. And I think you can make a ton of money doing it. I know my brother does really, really well. And again, he works for Edward Jones. And I know some other people that are really, really successful working for Edward Jones. So if I was to go down that path again and to follow that career, I'd probably work for a company like Edward Jones that trained you the right way and did it the right way, rather than go to some, big name company that sells dreams to generate high commissions. So that'd be my thoughts about that. But I wouldn't go to Edward Jones. I would chase my own dreams and discover my own dreams. And I think for me, my own dream is doing Coffee with Ken. Again, I talk about it a lot. I was a realtor and I was a stockbroker and I did a bunch of different things in my life. And nothing has felt so important as to hopping on in the morning and doing a show, whether I talk about mental health or sobriety or careers or travels or dreams or life. Good morning, Linda. Thank you for hopping on. I'm great, although my coffee's running low. My coffee is running low, but I'm excited about my Sunday. And I'm going to be going to church today, and I'm not sure. The only question is the 9 o'clock or the 10:45 service. I'll probably go to the 9. Probably get there a little early, probably stay a little late, because it'll be my last church service at this church for at least for some time. And I'm probably going to give my man Gary, who's always a smiley face and holds the door open for me and is a really big part of the reason I keep going to this church, just the friendliness and the engagement with him that I have, and the smiling faces and the good message and the great music and the happy people and the gratitude that is prevalent in my church. And I'm going to miss it a lot. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to give some people hugs, telling them I won't be seeing them for a while, but thank you for sharing your Sunday with me, is what I'll be telling them. What are some of my favorite books? Compound Effect will be number one. I'll tell you what. My first self-help book, my dad got it to me, and it was really life-changing, and it was in the 90s. And I forgot a lot of the messages that I got, but it kind of sent me on my getting better journey, was Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And it was a simple book written by a guy named Richard Carlson, I think. And each chapter was a page or two or maybe 3 pages. And it was something you could pick up and put down, and it was like 100 chapters long, and get little messages of positivity and little nuggets of gold in small little increments. So if you're somebody out there that finds themselves sweating the small stuff, dealing with anxiety, dealing with stress, or dealing with depression, I think Don't Sweat the Small Stuff's a great first book, and really got me on my journey of feeling better and working on myself and self-improvement. But after that, I think Compound Effect is awesome because it's a book about slow changes over time and about making progress and about getting a little better every day and instilling good habits in your life, and led me on my path that eventually found me putting down alcohol and putting down marijuana, and realizing that those were bad habits and sending me on a bad path, and my path would be going in a different direction if I stopped drinking and smoking every day. And, I probably would still be doing it if it wasn't for the Compound Effect. And I wouldn't be chasing my dreams. I'd be burying my anxieties and my stress and my depression under drugs. And I'd rather be chasing my dreams than burying my stress, anxiety, and depression with drugs. And I'd rather you guys be chasing your dreams. So I'd recommend you do something for yourself today. And I'd say it starts from within, and be a little kinder to yourself and worry a little less and fret a little less, and thank the Lord for your body and thank the Lord for your smile and your face and your smarts and your goodness and your character and who you are, and appreciate you. And start there, and start with a little gratitude and find things you're grateful for, and say a little prayer on this Sunday, and tell your mother you love her on this Mother's Day. And there's so many places to start, or to get better, to improve, and start from within. Zensei says 2 years marijuana free for me, best decision he ever made, or he or she. Well, congrats to you. I tell you what, you want to be a content creator. I think you got to walk the edge of inspiration and controversy. I talk less than glowing about marijuana, and you want to piss off you want to get your videos to be seen by a lot of people, say something negative about marijuana. Because I don't know why. I mean, you could talk negatively about the church or about coffee or about sunshine or green grass, but you say something that you say marijuana is addictive or not good for you or leaves you sitting on the couch, you're going to tick off a lot of people, and they're going to tell you how they feel. They're going to tell you how they feel and defend it with all their soul. And what's funny is the fact that they're so aggressively defending its value almost proves the point that it's bad for you. What's worse, alcohol or marijuana? I'd say alcohol for sure. Alcohol for sure, because alcohol is actually, I think, a poison. But marijuana is one of those sneaky things. And people think, hey, I don't feel anxious. But they say it like that. They go, hey, I don't feel anxious. And they change who they are. And you can tell when they're stoned. And you can see it in their eyes. And you can see it in their laugh, or hear it in their laugh. And it's one of those sneaky things. Because people, I tell you what, if I had cancer and was on chemo and was feeling nauseous, I mean, maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. But I'm not begrudging anybody that really has a vicious medical need, because I can understand the benefits when you feel there are no choices. But I think 99% of the world smokes pot to get high. And it's just true. But they use the chemo patient or the person with, I don't know, some really rough disease to rationalize their sitting around getting stoned, drinking beer, watching football, or playing video games. And I'll tell you what, it makes drinking beer and playing video games and watching football a heck of a lot more fun. But life's more fun when you got a clear mind and you got a dream you're living and you're chasing and you're excited about. And the problem with weed, in my opinion, is it makes everything okay. It makes doing nothing okay. It makes laying on the couch and talking okay. And there's nothing wrong with good conversation or exploring that area of your mind. But for me, it became a everyday, all day thing. You know, if I could still do it once on a Saturday night when I wanted to watch the wall with a buddy or talk about some cool, crazy stuff with a buddy, maybe it's okay to explore mind altering substances from time to time. But if you're always altering your mind, and if you live with an altered mind, you're not real. Your mind's just the same. It's just altered, but it's the same as it was yesterday. And you're not exploring new things, and you're not climbing the mountain, and you're not facing your fears, and you're not living your dreams. And I know as an everyday pot smoker and drinker, I wasn't chasing my dreams. I was burying my fears. And I just rather be chasing my dreams. So, yeah, one more sip of coffee. I want to thank you so much for joining on this Sunday. I appreciate you for hopping on. I appreciate you for the questions, the engagement, the interaction, the likes, the waves, the shares, the subscribers. I appreciate you, and I really mean that. And I want to thank you so much for joining. If you're blessed enough to have your mother still around, hopefully you see her. If you don't, call her and tell her you love her, because she's not going to be around forever. And Mom, I love you, and I miss you. And if you're a divorced dad, I touched on this late a little bit. Send your children's mom a happy Mother's Day. They'll appreciate the thought, and it'll create a little goodwill, and that goodwill trickle down to your children, and they might not know it, but they'll appreciate it. And yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for joining today. Again, I appreciate you. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Hope you're having a great, great weekend. I hope you had a great night's sleep. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're loving yourself. I hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.